Social anxiety isn't just normal, it's brilliant evolutionary design. Your brain developed this response over millions of years to keep you safe in groups because survival meant being accepted by others. Think about this. Every single person you've ever met experiences social anxiety. That guy who seems totally confident in meetings, he feels it. That woman who speaks effortlessly in public, she feels it too. The difference isn't in whether they feel it, but in how they understand it. Social anxiety is actually your brain's way of saying, this interaction matters to me. It's not a malfunction, it's not weakness. It's your social survival instinct working exactly as designed. When our ancestors lived in small tribes, being rejected meant literal death. No tribe meant no protection, no food sharing, no survival. Your brain still carries this ancient wisdom. That flutter in your stomach before meeting new people? That's your ancestors' survival instinct still protecting you. Once you understand this anxiety is normal, beneficial, and universal, it loses its power over you. It transforms from your enemy into your ally. The next time you feel socially anxious, remember, this feeling means you're human. It means your brain is working perfectly. And most importantly, it means you're not alone, not even close. Chapter 1. The Social Muscle and Micro Skills. Social skills work exactly like physical muscles. The more you use them, the stronger they become. This isn't just a nice metaphor. It's how your brain physically works. When you practice social skills, you create actual neural pathways that get stronger with each interaction. Think of basic conversation like doing bicep curls. First few times, awkward, uncoordinated, maybe even uncomfortable. But your brain is building new connections every single time. Just like working out, starting small is the secret. Social skills break down into tiny, learnable movements, micro skills. Making eye contact? That's one rep. Asking a follow-up question? Another rep. Sharing a relevant story? Another rep. Each one builds your social strength. But here's what most people miss. Just like physical exercise, you need proper form and recovery time. Trying to become a social butterfly overnight is like trying to deadlift 300 pounds on day one. Your social muscles need time to grow, adapt, and strengthen. Start with 5-minute conversations. Practice one micro skill at a time. Celebrate small wins. Remember, even the most socially skilled people you know started exactly where you are. They just kept showing up to the gym of social interaction, doing their reps, building their strength. Unlike physical muscles, social skills never reach a ceiling. They can keep growing stronger your entire life. And every single interaction is a chance to grow. Chapter 2. The 70-30 Rule in Active Listening. The most powerful social skill isn't talking, it's listening. Specifically, listening for 70% of the conversation and speaking for only 30%. This isn't random, it's backed by research on the world's best conversationalists. When you let someone speak about themselves, their brain releases the same chemicals as when they eat their favorite food or receive money. You're literally giving their brain a reward by listening. But real listening isn't just staying quiet. Your brain should be fully focused on understanding their words, tone, and meaning. Not planning what to say next. Not waiting for your turn. Actually absorbing their message. Watch what happens when you listen this way. People feel truly understood. They naturally want to know more about you. They remember conversations with you as especially meaningful, all because you gave them something incredibly rare in today's world, your complete attention. The magic happens in the details. Notice how their voice changes when they talk about certain topics. Watch their energy level rise and fall. Pick up on the small words they emphasize. These subtle cues tell you what really matters to them. Remember, every time you choose to listen more and speak less, you're building deeper connections than 90% of people ever experience. That's the true power of the 70-30 rule. Chapter 3. Curiosity as a Superpower. It's not just asking questions. It's being truly interested in discovering what makes each person unique. Curiosity is like a muscle you can strengthen on purpose. Think of each person as a book with 1,000 pages. Most people only read the cover. But when you're genuinely curious, you start discovering chapters filled with surprising stories, fascinating ideas, and incredible experiences. Every single person you meet knows something you don't. The secret is asking questions that open new doors. Instead of, how was your day? Try, What was the most interesting part of your day? Watch how people's faces light up when they realize you actually want to know the real answer. Your curiosity creates a powerful cycle. The more interested you are, the more interesting things you learn. The more you learn, the more naturally curious you become. People feel this authentic interest, and they automatically open up more. When you're genuinely curious, social anxiety often disappears completely. Why? Because your focus shifts from yourself to discovering something new about them. Your brain is too busy being fascinated to be anxious. Remember, every person you meet is a walking library of experiences, insights, and stories. Your curiosity is the key that unlocks all of it. And the more you use this key, the more doors it can open. Chapter 4, The Three People Theory. Every person you meet isn't just one person, they're three. Understanding this changes how you see every social interaction. First, there's who they think they are. Second, there's who others think they are. And third, there's who they actually are. Think about yourself for a moment. You have a clear image of who you are, your strengths, flaws, qualities, but other people see a completely different version of you based on their experiences and perspectives. And somewhere between these views lies who you truly are. This isn't just interesting, it's powerful. When someone seems difficult or unfriendly, remember, you're probably seeing just one of their three versions. Maybe they think they're being cautious, while others see them as cold, and their true self is just protecting old wounds. Understanding these three versions instantly makes you more understanding, more patient, and more connected. You stop taking things personally. You become curious about which version you're seeing. Most importantly, this knowledge transforms how you see yourself. Those moments when you feel judged or misunderstood, that's just the gap between these three versions. Your task isn't to force everyone to see the same version. It's to be comfortable with all three existing at once. Remember, every person you meet is navigating their own three versions. This awareness alone makes you better at connecting than 90% of people. Chapter 5, Question Funnel and Memory Methods. The question funnel is a powerful tool that opens any conversation naturally. Think of it like a funnel that starts wide and gets more specific. You begin with broad, easy questions and naturally flow into deeper, more interesting ones. Here's how it works. Start with simple facts. Then move to opinions. Finally, explore feelings and experiences. Each question builds on the previous answer, creating natural flow and deeper connection. For example, what kind of work do you do? Leads to, what made you choose that field? Which flows into, what's the most challenging part of your job? See how each question gets more interesting? This isn't random, it's strategic curiosity. Combine this with the memory palace technique. As they answer, place key details in specific locations in an imaginary house. Their job in the living room, their passion project in the kitchen, their biggest challenge in the garage. This makes remembering details effortless. When you meet again, you can walk through your memory palace and recall specific details about them. How's that hiking trip you were planning? Did you finish that book you were excited about? People are amazed when you remember these details. Remember, questions are like keys. The right question at the right time unlocks deeper levels of conversation. And when you combine this with strong memory techniques, you create connections that last. Chapter 6, Echo Effect and Body Language. The echo effect is one of the most powerful tools in social connection. It's not just copying someone's body language, it's creating natural harmony in conversation. Your brain is already designed to do this. We're just making these adjustments conscious and strategic. When two people connect deeply, their breathing naturally synchronizes. Their gestures align, their energy levels match. This isn't conscious. It's your social brain doing what it does best. But you can accelerate this natural process. If someone speaks softly, gently lower your volume. If they're energetic, gradually raise your energy. If they lean in, naturally mirror that engagement. The key word is subtle. This isn't mimicking. It's matching. Watch what happens in their brain. When you subtly match someone's energy and body language, their brain registers you as safe. Try it with micro movements. The slight tilt of your head when they tilt theirs. The natural shift in your posture when they shift theirs. The matching of their speaking pace. Each tiny adjustment builds unconscious rapport. Remember, your body language already wants to synchronize with others. You're just removing the barriers and letting it happen naturally. This isn't manipulation, it's amplifying your natural connection abilities. Chapter 7: Social Momentum and Consistency. Social momentum works exactly like physics. Once you're moving, it's easier to keep moving. This is why the most socially successful people don't take long breaks from socializing. They maintain consistent momentum. Think of social skills like a car engine. When you first start after a long break, it's cold, rusty, awkward. But keep it running and it warms up, gets smoother, more efficient. This isn't just a metaphor, it's how your brain actually works. Small, consistent social interactions create more momentum than rare, big ones. A 5-minute conversation every day builds more skill than a 5-hour party once a month. Your brain needs regular, consistent practice. The secret is starting small. Simple hello to neighbors, brief chats with store clerks, quick conversations with coworkers. Each interaction is like pushing a boulder. The first push is hardest, but then it gets easier and easier. Look for daily momentum builders. Coffee shops, regular store visits, gym sessions. Places where brief, low-pressure interactions happen naturally. Each small interaction keeps your social engine warm and running. Remember, social momentum isn't about being on all the time. It's about regular, consistent practice. Like compound interest, small daily investments create massive long-term results. Chapter 8: Conversational Threading and Open Loops. Conversational threading is how you make any conversation flow naturally. Think of each sentence someone speaks as containing multiple threads you can pull on. Each thread leads to a new, interesting direction. Here's how it works. When someone says, "I just got back from a business trip to Japan," you've got at least 4 threads. The business itself, travel experiences, Japan specifically, and the timing of "just got back." Each thread is a doorway to deeper conversation. The powerful part is combining threads with open loops. An open loop is an unfinished story or idea that keeps someone engaged. Your brain hates unfinished patterns. It wants closure. This is why TV shows end episodes with cliffhangers. In conversation, it works like this. While discussing one thread, casually mention something interesting about yourself, but don't complete the story. Their brain will want to come back to it. Then explore other threads before returning to complete the loop. Weave multiple threads and loops. Start a story, switch to a related thread, open another loop, return to complete the first story. This creates natural, engaging conversation flow. Remember, every sentence contains multiple conversation possibilities. Your job is simply to spot these threads and weave them together naturally. Chapter 9: Context Banking and Permission Structures. Context banking is your secret weapon for deep connections. It's storing important details about conversations to create natural ways to reconnect later. But there's an art to doing this right. Here's how it works. During conversations, your brain naturally picks up key information: future plans, current challenges, important dates. Most people let this detail slip away, but you're going to bank them. The powerful part is combining this with permission structures. A permission structure is a natural reason to reconnect. When someone mentions an upcoming job interview, that's a permission structure to check in later. When they talk about a problem they're solving, that's another one. Think of it like this. Every conversation leaves breadcrumbs for future connections. Good luck with that presentation next week becomes, how did that presentation go? Hope you enjoy that new restaurant becomes, what did you think of that place? Consider the timing. Following up too soon feels pushy. Too late feels forgetful. But the sweet spot shows you care enough to remember and respect their timeline. Write down key details after important conversations. Set reminders for natural follow-up moments. Every detail you bank is a future opportunity to deepen connection. Remember, people rarely forget how you made them feel when you remembered what mattered to them. Context banking turns single conversations into lasting connections. Chapter 10: Vulnerability and Trust Building. Trust isn't built through time. It's built through strategic vulnerability. Showing competence might get you respect, but showing vulnerability gets you trust. Faster. Here's the science. When someone shares something slightly vulnerable, your brain releases oxytocin, the same chemical that bonds mothers and babies. This creates instant connection. But there's an art to doing it right. The key is progressive vulnerability. Think of it like climbing stairs, not jumping off a cliff. You start with small, safe disclosures. I was nervous about this meeting too, or I'm still learning how to do this. Each small share invites equal sharing back. Here's what most people miss. Vulnerability isn't about sharing your deepest secrets. It's about showing you're human. When you admit to small struggles, fears, or mistakes, you give others permission to be human too. This creates psychological safety. Watch what happens. When you share a small vulnerability, others naturally match it. Yeah, I struggle with that too, or I thought I was the only one. Each exchange builds deeper trust. Remember, strong people aren't afraid to show vulnerability. They know it's not a weakness, it's a tool for connection. Use it strategically, progressively, and watch trust grow naturally. Chapter 11. Emotional Intelligence. Emotional intelligence is your social navigation system. It's not just understanding emotions, it's using them as data to create stronger connections. And like any skill, you can improve it systematically. First, emotion scanning. Your brain constantly picks up emotional signals from others, tone changes, microexpressions, energy shifts. Most people ignore these signals, but you're going to use them as information. Emotions are contagious. When someone's excited, you naturally feel a spark of excitement. When they're calm, you feel calmer. This isn't weakness. It's your brain's empathy system working perfectly. Watch what happens in conversations. Someone's voice gets slightly higher when mentioning a topic. That's excitement. Their energy drops mentioning work. That's stress. Their words say, I'm fine, but their tone says otherwise. These are emotional data points. Focus on the response. When you notice someone's enthusiasm, match it. When you sense worry, offer calm presence. When you detect hidden stress, create space for sharing. You're not just responding to words, you're responding to emotional reality. Remember, every interaction has an emotional layer. Your job isn't to fix or change emotions, it's to understand and navigate them skillfully. Chapter 12. Social Context Navigation. Social context is like gravity. It's always there, silently shaping every interaction. Understanding it transforms you from a social swimmer into a social surfer, riding the waves instead of fighting them. Every social situation has invisible rules. A coffee shop has different energy than a library. A work meeting feels different from after-work drinks. A family gathering operates differently from a networking event. These aren't random, they're predictable patterns. Your brain already knows these patterns. You naturally speak differently to your boss than to your best friend. You instinctively act differently at a wedding than at a casual lunch. We're just making these adjustments conscious and strategic. Watch how context changes behavior. The loud, energetic friend at parties becomes quiet in museums. The serious professor jokes at game night. The shy person leads confidently in their area of expertise. Context shapes everyone's behavior. Look at transitions. Moving smoothly between different social contexts. Bringing just enough energy to match each situation. Reading the room and adjusting naturally. This isn't fake, it's social fluidity. Remember, every social context is like a different game with its own rules. Master the context, master the interaction. Chapter 13. Connection Deepening. Deep connection isn't about time, it's about progression. Moving naturally from surface-level chat to meaningful conversation isn't random. It follows predictable patterns that you can master. Think of connection like temperature. You don't jump from ice cold to boiling. You warm up gradually. Each small increase in connection temperature feels natural, comfortable, safe. This is how lasting bonds form. Here's what most people miss. Deep connection happens through shared experiences, not just shared words. Walking together instead of sitting. Creating something together instead of just talking about it. Solving a problem together instead of just discussing it. Action builds connection faster than words. The powerful part is progressive disclosure. Each person shares a little more, goes a little deeper, shows a little more trust. It's like a dance where each person takes turns leading, one step at a time, naturally, safely. Remember, real connection isn't forced. It's not rushed. It's a natural progression of trust, understanding, and shared experience. 1 degree warmer at a time. Chapter 14. Group Dynamics. Group interaction follows hidden patterns, just like water flowing through channels. Understanding these patterns gives you the power to navigate any group naturally and confidently. Every group has three key dynamics: energy flow, power structure, and connection points. Think of it like a living system. Energy moves between people. Leadership emerges naturally, and connections form and shift. In every group of people, naturally fall into roles: the energy starter, the mediator, the connector, the stabilizer. These roles aren't fixed, they shift and change. You can learn to play any of them. Watch what happens in groups. Someone makes a joke, energy rises. Someone shares a concern, energy focuses. Someone bridges two conversations, connections form. These aren't random events, they're predictable patterns. The power move is reading group energy. Is the group too excited? Bring calm. Too serious? Add lightness. Too scattered? Create focus. You're not controlling the group, you're balancing it. Remember, every group is a living system. Your job isn't to dominate it. It's to understand its flow and add what's missing at the right moment. Chapter 15. Social Network Building. Your social network isn't just a list of contacts. It's a living system that grows stronger through connection, not collection. The secret isn't knowing more people. It's connecting the right people at the right time. Think of your network like a garden. Some connections need daily attention. Others need occasional checking. Some grow naturally. Others need careful tending. And just like a garden, the magic is in how different elements support each other. Strong networks aren't built through networking events. They're built through genuine connection and helping others connect. When you focus on creating value for others, your network grows naturally. The real skill is pattern matching, seeing how different people could help each other, recognizing when two people should meet, understanding what each person needs and who might provide it. You become a connection catalyst. Watch what happens. When you introduce two people who truly help each other, they remember. When you share opportunities without expecting return, they notice. When you follow up meaningfully, they respond. Your network becomes self-strengthening. Remember, strong network isn't about what you can get. It's about what you can give, connect, and create for others. Chapter 16. Digital social skills. Digital connection follows different rules than in-person interaction, but the core principle stays the same: creating real connection through authentic presence, just through a different medium. Online communication lacks body language and tone. This isn't a weakness. It's an opportunity to be more intentional with your words. Every message, comment, or post becomes a chance to add genuine value. Digital spaces let you scale authentic connection. A thoughtful comment can impact hundreds. A helpful post can reach thousands. A genuine interaction can spark multiple connections, but only if you stay real. Watch how digital dynamics work. Quick responses build trust. Consistent presence creates reliability. Personal touches show authenticity. These aren't tricks. They're digital versions of real-world connection skills. It's all about translations. Active listening becomes thoughtful responses. Eye contact becomes quick reactions. Warm presence becomes consistent engagement. Each real-world skill has a digital equivalent. Remember, digital spaces are real spaces. Online connections are real connections. They just need their own type of care and attention to thrive. Chapter 17. Boundary Mastery. Strong boundaries make strong connections. This might sound backwards, but it's true. The clearer your boundaries, the deeper your relationships become. Because real connection needs both closeness and space. Think of boundaries like a cell membrane. They're flexible, not rigid. They let good things in and keep harmful things out. They protect while still allowing connection. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about showing them how to get closer in the right way. Once you know your limits, people know how to respect them. Watch what happens. Clear boundaries make you more relaxed in social situations, more present with others, more authentic in connections, because you're not worried about protecting yourself. Your boundaries do that automatically. The magic is in the balance, being open while staying protected, letting people in while maintaining your space, saying yes to what matters by saying no to what doesn't. This isn't selfish. It's smart social energy management. Remember, your social energy is precious. Your time is valuable. Your attention is powerful. Strong boundaries don't limit your connections. They make them deeper, more authentic, and more sustainable. Chapter 18. Social Leadership. Social leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about creating spaces where Connections naturally form. It's about making others feel safe, heard, and included without forcing anything. Think of yourself as a social architect. Your job isn't to control the room, it's to create conditions where good things happen naturally, where conversations flow, connections form, and everyone feels part of something. Social leaders don't need attention. They create attention for others. They notice who's left out, who has something to say but isn't speaking, who could add value but needs invitation. They make space for others to shine. Watch what natural social leaders do. They ask questions that include everyone. They bridge separate conversations. They smooth over awkward moments. They give quiet people space to contribute. They make social spaces feel safe. Focus on small moments, introducing people who should know each other, bringing up topics that energize others, creating little moments of connection between people. Each small action builds stronger group dynamics. Remember, true social leadership isn't about being the center of attention. It's about creating spaces where everyone can connect authentically. Chapter 19. Advanced Psychology. Understanding social psychology transforms how you see every interaction, not to manipulate, but to connect authentically. By understanding how human minds naturally work together, your brain runs on attachment patterns. These are deep programs formed in early relationships that shape how you connect today. Understanding them lets you build stronger, more conscious connections. Social motivation comes from three core needs: feeling safe, feeling capable, and feeling connected. When these needs align, relationships thrive naturally. When they conflict, tension appears. Someone who seems distant might just need more safety. Someone who seems aggressive might need to feel capable. Someone who seems clingy might need more connection signals. Understanding the need changes how you respond. It all comes down to pattern recognition, seeing attachment styles in action, noticing motivation patterns, understanding emotional needs, reading group dynamics. Each insight makes you more socially aware. Remember, psychology isn't about putting people in boxes. It's about understanding human patterns so you can connect more authentically. Knowledge serves connection. Now go out there and use what you've learned. Start small, stay consistent. Trust the process. Remember, every expert started exactly where you are now. Every social butterfly was once in a cocoon. Most importantly, start today, now, because the world needs what only you can bring to it. Your unique way of connecting, your story, your presence. Being social isn't just about you, it's about all the lives you'll touch simply by being yourself. And that journey starts with your very next interaction. And hey, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Also, let me know your thoughts on what I just shared.